Good morning. Welcome to day 3 of Microsoft Ignite. Has everybody had a good time? Oh yeah, learning a lot? All right, well we have got a fire hose of content for you today. We're going to be moving really fast, so please do pay attention, take as many pictures as you need. Today's session is your organizing layer for AI, Copilot Search and Connectors. There are 4 of us from Microsoft that will be presenting to you today, as well as one of our great customers, Ernst & Young. We'll start off with a brief introduction, do a little bit of framing around what this session is about. We'll then work our way into what's new and what's next with Copilot Search, and then move on to what's new and what's next with Copilot Connectors. There's a lot of roadmap that we're going to cover today as part of this session, and it's going to be predominantly demo-led. So just a show of hands really quick. Who in this room is using Copilot? All right, one of you. Great, thank you. How many of you are using Search in Copilot? Okay, so a pretty good order of you are using both Copilot and Copilot Search, and how many of you have 1 or more Copilot connectors configured with Copilot? All right, that is great. Hopefully by the end of this session, all of you will raise your hand when we ask who's using Search and who's using connectors. So earlier this week, we introduced WorkIQ. So WorkIQ in the context of this session, an organizing layer for AI, what does that mean? It means at the heart of WorkIQ, it's your data and your interactions. So we're going to talk about 2 core layers of WorkIQ today in the context of Search and Connectors. We're going to talk about inference, what Search knows about you, what Search knows about who you work with, the content that you work with, and the way that you work. And then we're going to talk about data. Data is the heart and soul of how Copilot Search and Connectors operate and create that organizing layer for AI. So why Search? That's one of the questions that we get. Over the course of the last 24 months, we've seen a habit shift, and that habit shift has trended towards conversational chat bots. We want to have long-form conversations. That is not the faculty for Search. What is Search? One thing that we all have in common today in this room is we all have a badge. Who took their badge off yesterday when they went back to their hotel or wherever they're staying? Probably every single one of you. Did you place it in a location where you knew where it would be? How many of you looked in that location today for your badge? That is what Search is. Search is about finding. We seek because we have an intent to do something for that which we sought. The badge and looking for the badge is the equivalency of search. The doing is showing up at this session. That's where Search fits in the grand scheme of things in Copilot. And why is it so important? Search is about data. It's about finding that data. And you're finding because you have an intent to do. And we're creating more and more data every single day. Generative AI has just caused an unstructured data explosion. So there's some important questions that we have to answer. How are we going to sift through all of that information? How do you find what you need to be productive, going from finding to doing, using Search as a springboard to doing real work? And then lastly, where is that information? And those are the things that we're going to try to answer for you today as we work our way into the search portion of this session. So with that said, I'd like to invite one of my counterparts, Soujanya, to the stage, who will introduce to you Microsoft 365 Copilot Search and our roadmap.
Thank you, Bill. I just want to see the clicker works. Awesome, yay. So what is M365 Copilot Search? It's, I would say, the search for the era of AI. We built it on these 4 pillars. Number 1, simple. We want to make the user experience intuitive and only keep what is most useful for you and your users. Relevance, it's a key pillar. I think the biggest problem that we hear from all of our customers and all of you is like, hey, can search results be more relevant? This Copilot Search is personalized and contextual and built on top of our semantic index. Fast. In the world of AI and LLMs, search has to be really fast so that you can quickly find what you want and get to your content. And last but not least, complete. We know that all of your content is beyond Microsoft 365, and therefore, it's important for us to treat all content equally when it comes to our customers. Last but not least, best-in-class security and privacy, which is the Microsoft promise to all of you. But you know what? Since 3 months ago, since we launched, our team has been working very, very hard in making search even better. And I'll show you a few key things here. By now, I think you're all familiar with Java Core. So in this demo, I am 𝗦𝗲𝗲𝗿𝗀, a new product manager at Java Core. And my task is to prepare myself for some upcoming launches that are happening. As you can see, I am in the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. This is where Copilot Search resides today. And if you're an M365 Copilot licensed user, you get it as part of the package. In the search landing page, you see that it's actually focused on your finding, right? It's clutter-free. And I can quickly look at any of the content that I want to get back to. But in this case, I'm actually interested to learn more about my new project. The query formulation, or the QF, as we call it internally, is your quick way to get back to your content. So even without searching, if you have been working on these documents like I have been over the last few days, I can simply click on them and open it up and get going. But in this case, I'm actually interested to see what Isaac Fielder, one of my coworkers who's helping me ramp up, is actually asking me to do. What I see here is what we call as a people-centric search experience. As you can see, Copilot Search has transformed itself into a person-centric view, showing me all my conversations, email exchanges, and communications with Isaac. And of course, in this case, I have not yet exchanged any documents with Isaac to collaborate on, and therefore you don't see any documents. But in your case, if you have collaborated with document content across all of your Microsoft 365 and other data sources, you will actually see it. So the people-centric search is really interesting, right? In one single view, I can actually see calendars. And for the first time in search experience, we can now search for calendars. So I can see that there are many upcoming meetings here, so it seems like something is really important. There is a product roadmap and a Java launch plan and all of the important things. I can quickly see the Outlook emails that have been sent. And I think this Isaac, he's asking me to do something about the FabricAM analytics team here, so I'll pay attention to those things. Couple of takeaways from my people-centric search here is that I need to pay attention on the product launch and prepare a plan for it, and then I should follow up on the FabricAM analytics team. So moving on. In this example, I have used simple keywords. I am here looking for the product launch information. WorkIQ and Microsoft Graph helps you personalize and contextualize the information. So simple keywords in my context actually turn into very contextual information for me. So when I typed in product launch, I can now quickly see the relevant information that my team has been circulating around. And that's really, really useful. OK, brace yourself. I'm going to show you one of my favorite features. As I hover on this document, I see an overview. Let's check it out. This is the AI overview. We call it the intelligent AI overviews. And the reason why it's intelligent is because it not only gives me a very quick way of looking through what the document is, even without opening it, but it also gives me more insights. So I'm interested in looking at the launch plan. This sounds like an interesting document. Maybe the go-to-market strategy. That's interesting too, and it talks about like the marketing strategy. But hey, I actually see a relevant content, and this is the UAT launch readiness meeting that Isaac has set up, which we saw in the previous demo. And of course, I can quickly go through all of the information. And this is the work that I'm actually leading, which is the expansion of our product line for the aerospace and logistics. Moving on. On the right-hand side here, you may have seen that I see many data sources. In my previous person-centric search experience, I was only seeing Teams, Outlook emails, and calendar. But now there are more data sources. This is the contextual source list of filters that is now contextual to the query that you're executing. So in this case, with product launch, I see there's actually a lot of information from across different sources. So I'm curious to see what's in Azure DevOps here. Perfect. as you can see, even without going away from search experience, I can quickly see that there is an objective and a key result. The objective is a user-friendly redesigned website. Of course, that's what I'm hired for. And the key results is to increase the user retention. Perfect. As you can see, along with the metadata, we also have these source-specific filters that can give you an easy way to slice and dice the information that makes sense for the source. So quickly going into a few more sources just to kind of see how that works. In Confluence, we are able to now show the filters around space and status. If I come to SharePoint, you can now see SharePoint sites all show up, and that's perfect. Without actually doing any administration work, Copilot Search out of the box gives you the experience of customized filters for the data sources. I'm also seeing this M365 Copilot chats, and this is interesting because this is a great way to connect your search and chat experiences. Of course, I've been very nervous about this product launch, so I've been searching and brainstorming with Copilot Chat. Now it's a quick way for me to find this information and get to what I want. The second task that Isaac gave me was to follow up on the FabricAM analytics and dashboards. So in this case, I have actually done the FabricAM analytics and dashboard. And what I see here is the Copilot response. The Copilot response quickly gives me a snap of what information I need to be focusing on. So in this case, it talks about the UAT launch readiness. There are some key tasks. Let me quickly hover and see where this information is coming from. So there is some Confluence, Outlook information, and there are some Jira work items. That's perfect. And now, even without actually looking through and sifting through all of the search results, there's a simple, easy way for me to find all of the content. But I want to do one step further. I can quickly filter into Jira and see if the Copilot response has more details for me. And in this case, I can quickly see that there is like a drill through, which is great, because we would probably want drill through. Performance dashboards, there's pipeline monitoring, and all of that. So with Jira and filter to Jira, I can now see a lot more information very quickly. That's amazing. I hope you all try this out. So let's quickly recap what we spoke about. Query suggestions not only help you get started, it really helps you get back to the work. And very soon, we will be introducing filters directly to your source and to the people-centric view. So now, if you want to directly go into your favorite Jira or Confluence source, it's just one click away. People-centric search is your people graph coming together in one single pane. It helps you find the information and all the collaborations that you have with your colleagues very, very easily. The intelligent overviews give you a lot of information about the document. Not only do they show the AI overview, which is a quick summary, they pull in key insights from the document, and last but not least, the related content. So essentially, the Microsoft Graph and the Work IQ that we have been talking about all this week actually comes together in real, and you're able to see all of the related content within the same view. Copilot Answer is a quick summary view for you to kind of internalize the search results even without clicking on all of them. And then we spoke about the metadata, which is very important because each of your data source and the different entities within your data source actually have different information that they have to communicate. And with source-specific filters, we make it easy for you to slice and dice this information using the semantics of the data source. These are all coming soon, very soon. This is another one, which is one of my favorites, the calendar search. For the first time, enterprise search actually now has the capability to search within your calendars. And with AI overviews, you can then imagine the possibilities are endless, right? You know what meetings you have to go to, look at the AI overview, and now you're actually prepared for your meetings. And that's a game changer. And of course, M365 Copilot chats. All of you probably are living and breathing in chats these days, and we want to bring everything together into this one single view. But hey, that is not all. It was a lot of information, but we have more here. One of the key things that I hear from all my customers is, we possibly cannot understand your data. where your information is, what are the most important sources, what is important for your users. And therefore, today we are announcing authoritative content in Copilot. Authoritative content gives you, the administrators of the organization, the ability to configure websites that are most important for your users. So whether it's the policy site, your HR site, or an operations document, you can mark it as authoritative content. And what Copilot Search does, it elevates the ranking of that particular content. So in this case, when I'm searching for operations, it is bringing the authoritative content. OK, we spoke about finding. But like Bill said, finding is just a part of the journey. We want to move from finding to productivity and actually make you all productive. So with Copilot Search vNext, we want to springboard from finding to actually doing. So we are announcing search and chat together in one single view. This takes the user from finding to doing. And so you can actually get to your content really quickly. Let me actually see how this would have worked for Wanda in her role when she was searching for the information. Let's go back here. All right. OK, we saw that Wanda was actually looking for the product launch document. Let's replay that. So Wanda Howard is going and working on the product launch document. What you see here is quick search results right at the fingertips on the left-hand side. I can quickly see all of the content that Wanda was previously seeing. But here, look at this. Copilot Chat now powers the response as well. So you have search and chat working side by side. And what's really interesting is Copilot Chat actually not only summarizes the key documents, but also brings me insights. So it's reminding me that I have this upcoming meeting. And of course, Wanda was previously kind of going through the documents, and maybe she would have opened all the documents, found the relevant information, used some of the AI overviews and all of those things. But look what she can do now. I already know that these 3 documents were very important when Wanda was looking at it. I can simply, with a simple click, ground my chat response with the documents. And let's replay what Wanda would have done. OK, write a 5-point plan for product launch meeting. And there you have it, from search and finding to doing and getting your job done. And with Copilot Chat, you can now actually transform this into the documents. And Wanda is now completely ready for her meeting in a day. All right, moving on. Summarizing Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, a chat for the AI era with semantic understanding, personalized and contextual results, authoritative content that gives you the control, faster search because we want you to get to your content as fast as possible, quick document overviews and chat side by side now to make your productivity, take your productivity to the next level, and last but not least, a truly universal search experience for all of your content. Now, would you not say that is the search for the AI era? But here's the takeaway. For you to truly realize this dream, you have a little bit of work to do. And that is the universal aspect. And to talk more about how to make Copilot Search and other experiences universal, I'm going to invite Jyoti.
Thank you, Soujanya. Hey, folks. So through this week, probably you've already heard enough and more, but you have heard about Work IQ, right? Which is the intelligence layer which powers Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now, I want you to actually focus on the data part of it. Now, we know that you work with data beyond Microsoft. So it's very critical that when we are talking about this particular data layer over here, it's not just working with your Microsoft data, but all of your enterprise data, right? And that is where Copilot connectors comes into picture. Copilot connectors connect your enterprise knowledge to Work IQ and power Copilot experiences. Now to do this, we have a diverse and growing set of Copilot connectors which are available, which are built by us and by our amazing partners across a varied range of domains, be it files and storage, HR and IT, or CRM, and many, many more. Now, what does this mean? It means that the systems that you work with, where your work happens, can now get connected to Copilot very, very easily. Let's talk a little bit more about that, right? So when we talk about connecting your data, what we are doing is with Copilot connectors, indexing your enterprise data and building a semantic index on top of it. You have probably already heard about semantic index over your Microsoft data, right? Now with all of this, you now have all of these different diverse data sources coming together in one unified index. Now once you have that unified index, Copilot can essentially work and reason on top of that to be able to deliver contextual and relevant insights across all your Copilot experiences. Now, it's actually very easy to set up as well. It's not that much work. It can be set up within minutes, as well as it is centrally enabled. Now, what this means is that in your organizations, your admins can go set this up, and your users don't have to do any additional steps, and this gets enabled across the experiences. It's also available for all the eligible Microsoft 365 licenses and Copilot licenses. So you should go back and check. This is probably already available for you. Now, all of this is built with security and compliance at its core. So the data source permissions are honored. Your data stays in your tenant boundary, and we honor all the Microsoft 365 security, privacy, and trust boundaries so that you can use Copilot connectors safely. Now, let's say once all of this data is connected, what happens next? Wherever your users are in their flow of work within Copilot experiences, they can start accessing Copilot connectors data. Soujanya just spoke about seeing your Confluence and Jira information when your users are in Copilot Search. But beyond Copilot Search as well, this data is available in more and more experiences. So let me actually go ahead and show you an example of this with Copilot Chat and Researcher in Copilot Chat. So let's have a look at this.
This is Billy, a consultant at Contoso. He gets an email from a customer asking about product details, project timelines, and success stories. Earlier, a lot of Billy's time was spent finding these answers across various applications and sites. Now, with Copilot, it's quick and seamless. Billy types his questions, chooses the sources to focus on, and Copilot can pull the answers directly from the right enterprise systems. Copilot understands the intent behind each question, pulling product details from Confluence, feature timelines from Jira, and success stories from the Contoso website. Copilot gives Billy answers he can confidently share. With Phase 1 going well, the customer asks for proposal for Phase 2, something that earlier took Billy hours to research. But now, with Researcher, Billy simply types in his prompt, selects his preferred sources, and Researcher gets to work. It understands the intent, searches broadly, connects insights, and synthesizes everything into a clear, well-structured output. Researcher analyzes and compares multiple solutions. It goes deeper into each solution, highlighting the key points and deriving insights based on Contoso's technical documentation, tabulated neatly. Billy opens the research brief as a Word document to review and collaborate. It's a polished output he can work on right away, cutting his prep time and accelerating customer projects. Meet Dakota. She meets customers monthly, but prep is hard, feedback is scattered, and Billy is too busy to brief her. With Copilot, she can instantly get up to speed before her next customer meeting. Copilot gives her the overall customer sentiment, discussion summary from Gong meeting insights, and emails, as well as work progress from Jira, open questions, and next steps. Copilot connectors bring Contoso's knowledge together, helping Billy and Dakota deliver strong customer outcomes.
So I just want you to imagine, this is not just you talking to one single data. This is all of your entire data coming together in the Copilot experiences where you work, be it Copilot Chat or Researcher, and delivering these great results to you, right? Now, one of the biggest things that we have heard from our customers is when you're actually talking to Copilot, you sometimes want to provide this additional context. You want to guide Copilot. You know that you're trying to pull a project update which has information sitting in Jira. And so for that, we are bringing the capability to have sources control, which lets the user be in control and guide Copilot to the right data sources that they actually want to go ahead and talk to. Apart from Chat and Researcher, Connectors is also available in Word. So let's say you're creating a draft on your product documentation, and you have that one FAQ that you actually have to put, which is sitting somewhere in a Confluence page. You don't have to leave Word. You can invoke Copilot within your Word document, go ahead and fire that prompt, which will bring back that information from the Confluence page, and you can go ahead and insert it in Word, again, keeping you in the flow of your work. Now, with all of this and everything you've heard about agents, we are not going to leave agents behind. With Copilot Connector data, you can use that knowledge to ground your agent in your business knowledge as well, transforming your enterprise knowledge into intelligent workflows and leveraging the capabilities of agents with all of this data. So you're connecting your data once, and it's essentially going ahead and lighting up across the Copilot experiences ecosystem that we actually have. Now, I hope by this stage, you are wanting to ask me, okay, this sounds great. How do I actually go ahead and get this, right? So setup is easy. We have 70 plus ready to use connectors, which I would really urge you to guys to go check it out today. Now, I'll actually go ahead and show you how simple the setup is. Here we go.
Head to the Admin Center, open Copilot Control System, and select Connectors. Enter the site information. Since this is a public site without sign-in, no authentication is needed. Click Create, and you're all set. With just a few clicks, your connection is set up, the content begins indexing, and it will soon be available in Copilot.
So as you saw, setup is really simple. Now, enterprise websites is actually a great connector to get started with. We have heard of this from many customers where they essentially have, let's say, their customer stories that they publish, their product documentation that they publish, and all of this is available on public websites. But essentially, their employees also want access to this data. Microsoft as a customer, in fact, is somebody who's already using this. You may have seen a lot of information on learn.microsoft.com, all of our product documentation. We, as a customer, have connected all of that information to our Copilot using the enterprise website connector. So this is something as a great starting point that I would actually recommend all of you to go ahead and try this week. We also have fast track support available for eligible Copilot customers that can be leveraged. The link for that is over here. So again, if any help and support is needed, you have those resources also available to you. Now, setup is a great thing, but I know you want to ensure that you have the right experiences rolling out to your customers. Now, for this, connectors can essentially be set up for limited audience and users, where you can do your piloting, validation, ensure everything is right before you actually scale it out with confidence to all of your users. Additionally, you can also monitor, once the connector is set up, the health very regularly. You can find out how frequently it's indexing, the number of items. You can even go granular to the level of finding out if a given item is actually indexed or not. So all of these are new features which are actually available that can help monitoring the health. Now, at this stage, if you have a lot of content sitting in your line of business applications that you actually want to go ahead and connect, and we don't have a connector available for it, you still are covered because you can go build your own custom connector. You can leverage the Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit, which has connector templates already available that really will help you jumpstart your journey in making your first connector that can connect your applications with APIs. And again, with this, all of the rich capabilities which are available for Copilot connectors becomes available for your line of business data application as well. Now, I have spoken a lot, but we actually want to showcase some real user impact of this. And for this, I would actually like to call upon Mark from Ernst & Young. He's a managing director there, who wants to talk to us about his Copilot connectors and search journey. So Mark, over to you.
Hey everyone, hope y'all are having a good last day of Ignite. So for those that don't know about EY, we're a professional services firm globally, 150 countries, 400,000 plus people across the organization. At our heart, we're a knowledge organization. So that includes things like tax, assurance, consulting, and strategy work that we do globally for our clients. But we're also a massive consumer of Microsoft capabilities and technologies. We have one of the largest Azure implementations in the world. We're the largest Power BI consumer in the world, et cetera. So all of that starts to come together when we talk about our overall scale, right? The key here is that we have a lot of systems that we need to connect that knowledge. One of those systems that we have is something we call Discover. Under the covers, it's Adobe Content Management that's actually managing that system. But there's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of things within that, whether it be PowerPoints, whether it be Word documents, proposals that we've done for clients, other things that we want to empower our professionals globally to be able to have access to. Of course, we also have ServiceNow that manages our internal ITSM capabilities, and that has a huge knowledge base in it as well, with thousands of documents in there as well. So what we've been able to do with that is put the connectors in place to make that a part of the Microsoft Graph and to make it where it's easier and people have access to that information within Copilot, within the Copilot Search and other capabilities. And now they're also able to build agents with those connectors to be able to transform their work and push our frontier firm forward. So we're going to walk through a little demo here. Let's see if I can get it to play. There we go. So you're going to first see here the Discover Copilot agent. And this is, again, connected to that Discover environment, that large repository of knowledge and capabilities that we have across the board. And so it's also coming back with links directly to the files and the information in our Discover environment overall. So we can link directly out into Discover and be able to do that. So people have access to this within M365 Copilot interface. They also have the ability, again, to build their own agents with this as well. And in a minute here, we're going to see the overall search result experience. So as you can see, we went up to search, and we're able to pull back that information, and we see all the different places that comes from, Discover being one of those. We'll see here in a second the actual information coming back from ServiceNow as well. Again, making all of that information searchable in one place and helping our people do it. And we've done it with a large scale in mind as well. So you can be confident that you're actually able to accomplish this, no matter what your scale is within the organization overall. And the one thing that I'd like to say is think about this in terms of how hard is it for you to find information in your organization. You have one place to go for HR benefits, you have another place to go to figure out how to reset your password or get a new laptop, hopefully it's a good one. And then you have another place to go to figure out how you need to report your time or how you do whatever. So having all of this in one place actually reduces the cognitive load of your people to be able to do that and to be able to transform and move forward and focus on the things that really matter for your business as well. So hopefully that's helpful. And with that, I'll hand it back over.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. And we are not done yet. For the latest innovation that we have in Copilot connectors, I would like to call upon Rishabh on the stage.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you, Mark, for such a powerful use case. Hi, my name is Rishabh Agrawal. I'm a principal product manager in Copilot extensibility area. Keeping up with customer demand and industry needs, I'm pleased to showcase you today MCP-powered federated Copilot connectors. Federated Copilot connectors will allow users to fetch data from MCP on demand. It will help users to gain powerful insights from both 1P, that is your emails, meetings, Teams chats, along with any third-party data that you want to bring in, for example, Canva, HubSpot, Notion, and create deep insights, starting with Researcher Agent. Users just have to authenticate themselves in a secure way, and data will start flowing in the researcher agent. And admins, like always, will have complete control over this. They can disable these connectors. In fact, they can stage it or scope it to a certain set of users, so they feel they are in complete control as well. Now let's look at the two types of federated Copilot connectors that we are launching. The first is out-of-box MCP connectors. These connectors are built in collaboration with partners, which users can start get going. And then we are also bringing in custom connectors. Organizations like yours can deploy your own MCP servers as data layer inside researcher agent. Now let's look at the out-of-box MCP connectors. We are going to take example of Erica, who is a marketing and sales leader at Java. She realizes that there are many customer deals which are stuck in pipeline. They're just not moving forward. And just like any organization, she realizes some of her data is in meetings, some of the data like customer playbook is in Notion, and of course, the CRM data lies in HubSpot. Can researcher help her today? Let's look at it in a video. And that's how easy it was for Erica to get started, get rich insights from wherever her content lied. We have collaborated with our partners to bring some of the most powerful federated Copilot connectors. These are Notion, Canva, Intercom, Linear, HubSpot, and many more. Now we know that these are some of that might not be suited for your organization, and you might want to deploy a custom MCP connector as well. So now look at how you can deploy your own MCP server as a data layer for researcher agent. And that's all. So you can see how admins were able to deploy their own MCP servers in just few clicks. They provided icon, name, MCP link, maybe some authorization, and that's all. They pushed it to the end user, and within few minutes, end user was empowered enough to actually derive insights from this Talent Sync MCP server. Just to recap, we spoke about out-of-box MCP connectors, federated Copilot connectors, and we are also providing custom MCP connectors. Going to the admin management, as you can see, this is a unified admin experience that we are providing. So if you can see that there will be a new type called MCP along with the synced ones where where admins can go and get the same unified control that they have been working upon. They can click on it. On the right side, they will see that what kind of what kind of connector this is and what kind of endpoint it is getting exposed to, and whether they want to enable, disable it, or they can stage it to certain set of users. So admins remain in full control of federated Copilot connectors as well. And I'm pleased to announce that limited preview of the federated Copilot connectors. To experience the power of these federated Copilot connectors in Researcher, register by scanning this code. If there's a long form, not really long form, but some content in the form. But if you're able to do it later, if you want to share with your friends, you can just go on aka.ms/MCPCC, which stands for Model Context Protocol, Copilot Connectors, MCPCC. We can't wait to see how you and your organizations will leverage these connectors to derive rich insights on the fingertips and on demand. That's all from my side. Back to you, Bill.
Thank you, and thank you to all of our presenters this morning, to Soujanya, to Rishabh, to Jyoti, as well as Mark from Ernst & Young for sharing their story about how they're using connectors, search, as well as agents. There's a couple of links on the screen where you can learn more about Copilot Search, learn more about Copilot connectors, and if you need help with deployment, we can definitely help with that as well. So please do make note of that link. Hopefully, coming out of today's session, one of the things that you can take away from it is you can now not only search smarter, but with MCP, research smarter as opposed to researching harder. I hope everybody enjoyed today's session. There's a few other sessions that you can still visit throughout the remainder of today and the remainder of the week, as well as some past sessions that will help deliver some additional context as to what we covered today, specifically on WorkIQ, innovation session that occurred on Tuesday to open up the event, as well as agent productivity, what's new in Copilot. It's always important, largely as you start to see that we are more deeply integrating search and Copilot together, so keeping on top of that is always important, even in the world of search. And then you can always meet us at the EMUs in Moscone South. So if you want to learn more, aka.ms/M365 agents, as well as the links that I previously shared. I hope you enjoyed today's session. It was delightful to be able to see as many people show up, as many people raise their hands that are using Copilot, that are using connectors, that are using search. And then hopefully, we'll be able to surprise you in the next couple of weeks as we start to release some of the innovation that we talked about today. So again, thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day, and thank you for coming to Microsoft Ignite.